So here's the truth, guys. You don't really have a lead problem until you've actually been able to prove your cost per book job is too high or your closing ratio is not good. Cost per book job. Today we're going to do a deep dive into one of the most important metrics for marketing your business. Understanding cost per book job is going to give you the clarity and true understanding into your return on investment. I'm Alex Wells. I'm the founder and CEO at Imprint Digital, located in Loveland, Colorado. Over the last 15 years, I've been working with business owners all over the country, helping them grow their business. The key to everything is really clear communication and true understanding into the metrics that impact your bottom line and put money back in your pocket. Today, we're going to go over cost per book job. In earlier videos, we actually discussed this a little bit, and I just want to unpack that with you, make you equipped to understand one of the most important metrics in your business. Your agency sends you a report every month. It has things like impressions, clicks, and if you're lucky, you have your cost per lead. And every one of those numbers can go up while your bottom line and your bank account goes down. There's one number that cannot lie to you, and it's cost per book job. That's why we're going to talk about this today. Today, I'm going to show you how to calculate it, how to track it, how to tie it to the channel that earned you the revenue, and how to decide where every marketing dollar goes next. First of all, the metric ladder, and the one your agency probably stops on. There are 3 numbers in almost every marketing report. They sound familiar, but they are not. Cost per click. What an ad platform charged you to get somebody back to your website. Cost per lead. The cost that it took to make the phone ring just one time. And cost per book job. The amount you invested to actually get money back in your pocket. Here's the part nobody explains. Each rung up the ladder gets you closer to your money. And when it comes to providing a marketing service, each rung up the ladder is harder to fake. And that's why these numbers are so important. Understanding them really gives you the tools to realize whether or not you have a good marketing partner. Cost per click is really easy. The platform hands it to you. Cost per lead takes a little tracking. You can't just go set up a Google Ads account, push the play button, and start to track your leads and the cost to generate them. And cost per book job really takes some finesse, technical know-how, and a lot of experience to even realize how to track that properly. Because here's the reality. Understanding the cost per book job takes more steps after the fact. Because what you're looking at here, right, is you have your cost per lead, but in order to understand whether or not the lead was booked takes another step, which is going into your calendar, your CRM, where you're actually collecting payments and where you can see the information of who and what they booked a job for. And you also have to understand and be willing to go a step further, which is, did the truck get to the driveway and did the transaction occur? That's why most reports stop at cost per lead. Cost per click pays Google. Cost per lead makes your phone ring. But cost per book job helps you make sure that you can pay your employees. If your report stops one rung short of getting to the cost per book job, then you're really never going to truly understand your return on investment. Because ultimately, that's the number that matters the most. How to actually calculate it. The formula is pretty simple, actually. Finding the inputs is where it gets real. Take your total marketing spend for that period, all of it, every dollar, ad spend, agency fee, call tracking, landing pages, everything, every marketing cost. Now, after you have that number, divide it by the number of booked jobs. Not leads, booked jobs for that same period. This has to be a scheduled appointment with a real customer. Let's run these real numbers. Let's say you spent $8,000 last month. You booked 40 jobs from that spend. Now you take that $8,000 divided by 40. That's $200 per booked job. Now, the second half of that, because the cost really means nothing. What's your gross profit per job? If your average profit per job is $600, you spent $200 to generate $600. That is a 3-to-1 return. I would say scale it. If you could make $3 for every dollar, that's a pretty good deal, right? Imagine going to an ATM. Let's say you have $1 and you put $1 into the ATM and it gives you $3 back. That seems like a pretty good deal, right? It'd be awesome if ATMs actually functioned that way. Now, in this formula, you have a marketing channel that does, so you should scale it. If your average job profits $250, you spent $200 to make $250. You're working for free at that point. Fix it. The number really isn't good or bad on its own. It's only good if it's sitting next to your gross profit per job. That's why you really have to understand your numbers, and your marketing partner needs to take time to understand those numbers too, because your reports should be discussing what we are today. Now we're getting to the fun part, tying the job back to the source. This is where it gets really interesting, guys, because really understanding your return on investment, the overall side of it that we just went through is one thing, but actually understanding the return on investment per source and channel is very powerful, because there's a lot of ways to market your business. You could have bus stops, you could have road signs, you could have Google, you could have Facebook. You have all of these different sources, and really understanding your cost per job and tying it back to the source gives you the levers you need to pull to truly scale. Here's where most owners get stuck. They can't find the total spend, total jobs. Maybe who they're working with isn't really providing that information. They can't tell you which channel produced what job. That is the difference between having a number and truly understanding it. When you truly understand it, you can use the numbers to make a decision. And as a business owner, time is extremely valuable. And so being able to make those decisions quickly and efficiently is power. It's leverage. And it's really a differentiator on how you can actually scale your business. There are basically 4 places that jobs can be coming from. Paid search, someone actually clicked on an ad. Organic search, someone found you in the non-paid section of search. The map pack, this one's really popular. This means somebody actually found you in the map section of search, which people have gotten very familiar with considering we use GPS in our cars most days. And then there is direct and referral. Direct and referral means somebody either went directly to your website, they actually went to their browser, typed in your URL directly, and went to your website, contacted you there. Or a referral means it came from somewhere else. There's a lot of referral sources. Let's say you still have a Yellow Pages listing on yellowpages.com. That could be a referral source, as an example. There are tons of them. So really understanding this is going to be key. Each one is going to have its own cost. There's going to be money associated to each channel. And each one truly will probably generate a different type of customer in many cases. If you only really know your blended cost per book job between all channels, what you're going to have a difficult time with at that point is making the best decision. What's next? Because having that paid source or that organic source and really understanding the cost per book job for each, that lets you know, should I invest more in this channel? Should I invest more in that channel? Should I cut this channel? Being able to make those decisions quickly is one of the best parts of running your business. The fix is not that complicated either. A separate call tracking number per channel. Oh, I know, having a different phone number show up, that can be really challenging for some businesses. Maybe you're in the frame of mind that you went out and bought a bunch of vanity numbers, has really cool sayings spelled out in the phone number, or maybe you branded something specifically in your business related to the area code that you're in. And maybe using a tracking number seems a little intimidating at first, but I'll tell you guys, it's been going on for years and years and years. And without using multiple tracking numbers, being able to tie calls back to the source, you're not going to have a very good chance of gathering the cost per book job. Here's another thing you can do. When somebody calls in, ask them, how did you hear about us? However, I will tell you, that is typically not going to be the most accurate approach. Sometimes we will actually see by using tracking numbers, having good tracking in place in the first place, let's say tying book jobs back to the source directly. Let's say you have a calendar feature on your website and somebody can book directly. We'll actually tie that back to the source too. But if you're actually asking that over the phone, because we're all extremely busy, let's be honest. And the likelihood that somebody's actually going to remember specifically how they found you is pretty low. Actually being able to track this with real data is gonna be far more effective. All of these things really come together with a CRM. So your tracking numbers per source, your form per source, all that stuff should actually generate a tag in your CRM directly. So now you see Bill contacted me from this source, has booked on our calendar for Friday at 2 p.m. And once the job's complete, you can see Bill, who found you from this, ended up buying this. Now you really truly understand the return on that particular customer and where it came from. If you do all these things, that overall blended cost per job actually goes to cost per book job per source. Now you can see the channel costing you $90 per book job and the channel that's costing you $200 per book job. What good actually looks like? Owners always ask us, what's a good cost per book job? The honest answer, it depends on your average ticket and gross margin per job. A $200 to $300 cost per book job for, let's say, a $15,000 roof is nothing. You're definitely in good shape. A $200 book job for a $90 drain cleaning is a disaster, but it's gonna be a steal for a roof replacement. So stop asking if the number's high. Start just asking, what is the job worth? Tie the cost to your ticket every time. Using it as a decision-making tool. Once you have the cost per book job per channel, you start guessing and you start seeing. Decisions become easier and you get leverage and power. You can start steering. There's 3 moves. First one, scale. If a channel produces a great cost per book job, scale it. That's not a risk, that's math. And if you're looking to grow and your cost per book job is profitable, great, looks good, scale that channel. 2, hold. Your marketing's working. Don't turn it off. Hold. Keep it consistent. Don't try to scale it too much. Start looking around, see if it actually stays consistent. You can start planning as a business owner. Maybe I need to start thinking about hiring. Maybe I need more resources, more people to facilitate this because it's working and I have a scalable strategy. But hold. Wait, make sure you're in a good position, keep it running, keep the jobs coming in because you don't want that to stop, and then get yourself in a position to scale it up. 3, cut it or fix it. If a channel produces jobs above your target cost, then it's just not working very well. Something needs to change. You can fix it or you can cut it. And in many cases, fixing it is probably the first thing you should try. Maybe start looking at how it's being run, what kind of ad copy you have, what can be changed. Ask your marketing partner about it. They should be great at making that decision and really helping you. You can fix the marketing, you can fix the channel, or you can also move money to a channel that's working better. And as far as channels go, here's a good example. Let's say you're running some meta ads and you're running Google ads. Let's say your meta ads isn't working. Your cost per book job is too high. It's not keeping up with your gross margin, but your Google ads are crushing it. So in this scenario where you're trying to either fix it or cut it, this might be a scenario where you could pull from your meta ads and put it into Google ads. This will help you scale. That's a great solution. Pause the video for a second here. Pull your last month's numbers. Write down your total marketing spend. All of it. Don't forget any part of it. Make sure there's no outliers there. Write down your booked jobs for the same period. Real appointments, not just leads. Divide. Divide it, just like in the scenario before. That's your cost per booked job. Now write your gross profit down. Your gross profit per job. Not your overall gross profit, your gross profit per job. Make sure you're tracking this. Your CRM probably has this information. And if you don't use a CRM, you should start thinking about one. Or hopefully you've got a good spreadsheet or way to be able to access this information. There could be some good information about some of this in QuickBooks, depending on how you're doing your accounting. Just make sure you take the time to find this information. If the first number in this scenario is anything close to the second, you have a problem you can see today. And if you can see that problem today, that's way better than finding it during tax time. And if you can't pull one of those numbers in under 5 minutes, that's a real problem. I would maybe even take a second, step back, and figure out why you can't find those numbers. That could be a problem that can be solved, and once you solve that problem, you'll be in the best situation to be able to run this math. The good news is, in all of these scenarios, everything we've gone over, it's all fixable. So here's the truth, guys. You don't really have a lead problem until you've actually been able to prove your cost per book job is too high or your closing ratio is not good. Most owners are flying with one number, maybe no numbers, maybe a couple numbers. A lot of them probably don't have this particular number. But with the information we've discussed today, now you can find it. Now you can ask about it. Whoever you're working with should be able to provide this. Now you have the tools to be able to do so too. Because the key is, guys, most of the time you might be thinking, I need more leads. Most of the time you're wondering why your bank account isn't growing. And I want to equip you with the tools, knowledge, and understanding to be able to diagnose that yourself. Cost per book job is what connects spend to what you keep. We don't build marketing around clicks, traffic, impressions, or vanity metrics. We build our marketing strategies around cost per book job, by channel, in plain English. If you like what we covered today, make sure you take a moment to subscribe below, click the bell icon for future updates, follow us on social media. We're constantly providing knowledge and education to business owners to help you scale and find the solutions to do so.